I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today and pay my respects to their elders past and present. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. Every 2 years, Tourism Tasmania hosts TasTalk. This year, our world has been turned upside down, but we are definitely not out. So, in 2020, we are proudly presenting TasTalk The Movie.
Welcome to the premiere of TasTalk The Movie, starring Ange Boxall. Ange is a country and pop singer-songwriter who has travelled the world. Ange and her husband Mike are also splendid gin makers. A proud and passionate Tasmanian living on the wild beaches of the East Coast, Ange is hitting the road to meet the tourism operators who showcase this great state.
I'm starting my epic tour of Tassie in the capital city, Hobart. And Coonamble, Mount Wellington, is the iconic backdrop that watches over the city below. Andy Crawford operates Walk on Coonamble tours.
We offer small group guided walks on Coonamble, Mount Wellington, which is right behind Hobart, and we're here in the foothills, sort of leading up to the mountain ahead of us up that way.
Yeah.
And this is actually the track we take on our Cedar summit walk.
Okay, tell me about that.
So that goes from sea level, dip your toe in the Derwent, down near the famous historic sort of waterfront,
Yeah.
and walk all the way up through sort of the city, and then finishes at the end of the day right on top in the Alpine zone.
Oh, beautiful. And how long does that take?
So that's a full sort of 8-hour day.
Yeah.
But we go slow. We stop at the various huts, have some gourmet goodies.
Tasmanian gourmet goodies, I bet.
Exactly. I carry most of the weight.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so yeah.
I'll come then.
Yeah.
You can carry me.
Yeah, maybe. Epic views, certainly one of the things that people love.
Yeah.
And capturing them as they go up. And it's also about the view, not just down over Hobart. And when you're on the top and say, if you look out to the west, there's the Southwest Wilderness World Heritage Area. Next stop, South America. Look to your south,
Amazing.
Antarctica. People get this sense that I'm almost on the edge of the world here.
Yeah, that's right. Do people get to see some of the waterfalls?
There's some classic ones that you go past. So Myrtle Gully Falls is a famous one, as well as sometimes visit Silver Falls. There's a range. Good waterfall hunting territory on the mountain.
Oh, it just sounds absolutely delightful. Tasmanian seafood is famous the world over. And Shane from Tasmanian Wild Seafood Adventures offers visitors an experience that is totally immersive.
We're currently leaving Sullivan's Cove here in Kingspear Marina in the wonderful Hobart, heading out into the Great Derwent River. We're going to experience the best that Tassie has to offer, and it's all going to be fresh. First place will be down to Taroona Sea Cliffs, where we've got an abalone on board. We're going to cook that one up for you. It's a breakfast of champions.
Oh, yum!
And then we're going to go down to Bruni Island and we'll do some diving down there.
Fantastic.
Get some fresh sea urchins and periwinkles. We'll also have oysters, mussels. We'll have some crayfish too, and then we might go visit a salmon farm and get some sashimi on the go.
Oh, stop it! My mouth is watering.
Sometimes we get lucky, we can't promise it, but we've had dolphins, seals are generally most of the time, and occasionally the odd whale.
It really is an adventure.
It is an adventure, most definitely.
Oh my gosh, people must just absolutely love this.
We're surveyed for 49 plus 6 crew.
And how long are the trips?
So we're 4.5 hours, run 2 trips a day.
How about the actual hands-on experience?
Yeah, it's a really interactive tour that we run. Everything, you get an oyster splitting class, so when you know how to split your oysters, you can impress your friends at your own dinner party.
That's so cool.
With a glass of bubbles. We got to cook for one of the better chefs in the world.
Who's that?
Mr. Gordon Ramsay himself. So he went out and did a bit of a tour with us.
It would be quite different from the UK.
Yeah, most definitely. He says that the lobster that he had is like nothing that he ever tasted, and to actually see where it came from. The cooking skills that we have on here are second to none, but when the produce is that fresh, it's pretty hard to mess it up. People have paddock to plate, which is really good, but it doesn't work for us. So we've got deep to dish. That's
deep to dish, I like that.
That's what we've coined.
That's really cool. As demand for real hands-on farm tourism grows, Sunshine Holidays is building an opportunity for international guests to get in touch with our amazing produce. Claire is the project manager for this exciting new offering.
We have a project happening in Sorrel, the farm stay resort. Yes, they're gonna finish the building the end of this year. The first program, it has 93 rooms.
You say that's a farm stay. What does that mean?
So when the customer open the window, so probably they can see the cherries. So that's a very special experience.
The oysters, how does that come into it? Do they get to do a tour or?
Yeah, so that's the Sunshine Travel do. So we can do the package for the customer coming from mainland China.
And will you have all sorts of families, couples, older tourists?
And backpackers. They can pick cherries for the customer. So that's the reason we want to build this resort, just to show all the Mandarin-speaking customers the true Tasmanian can offer.
A relatively new city offering for accommodation is Ibis Styles Hobart. As well as the great range of facilities, Liz Gifford is pretty proud of their award-winning restaurant, Mr. Good Guy.
It was designed specifically for this hotel. It's the only one of its kind. It's not part of a chain or anything like that. We've recently got a brand new head chef who has come to us from Melbourne, from some really fantastic restaurants in Melbourne. So he's bringing his own flavour. Vietnamese, Thai, that sort of thing, based on big plates, small plates, very, very fresh.
I did read that you've won a few awards.
This last 12 months we won the Best Standard Accommodation Award in the Tasmanian Tourism Awards, then went on as a finalist to the Australian Tourism Awards and took the prize out there as well. We have a policy to employ people predominantly on a can-do attitude, and we can train skills. We want a really fabulous team to be the heart of our hotel.
I am surprised to hear that it's actually Tasmania's largest hotel.
Yeah, we're 296 rooms. We are comprised of 2 towers, so basically the front tower, which is on the street frontage, is only 3 stories high. The back tower is 10, so when you walk in, you don't get the feeling of that large building.
It's actually really reasonably priced.
And that's exactly where we want to fit in the market. We believe that we're a great economy brand hotel in Ibis Styles, and also we've been officially rated 4-star as well.
Truly boutique in nature and one of Tasmania's finest heritage properties, Mainland's Lodge is an urban luxury escape on the fringe of Hobart City. General Manager Gareth loves showcasing this property, and it's not hard to see why.
For me, personally and professionally, I think it's very deceptive up here. The views are incredible, and the mountain holds a special place, I guess, in my heart as a trail runner and someone who's up there quite regularly myself.
Tell me a little bit about the history of Mainland's Lodge.
It starts back in the 1820s in London when Henry Pierce was a 17-year-old boy that stole some lead from London Hospital. And then I guess over the next 40 to 50 years prior to the lodge being built, or the residents back in those days, he built a business empire between him and his eldest son, John. John was actually the original resident of this place, and this is John's statement to the world to say, hey, my father might have been a convict, but look at us, we've made it. We've kept the historical elements of the property. I guess we've brought in that little fusion of some modern sort of luxury as well, whilst not trying to detract from, I guess, the original sort of craftsmanship of the property.
Yeah, it's very sympathetic to the original design. I notice here these sweet little messages that people have by their cup of tea or coffee.
They're little coffee cards. It's just a small little thing every time we give someone a drink that basically will hopefully, I guess, just a little reminder of how grateful we should be when we live in such a beautiful place. We won Best New Tourism Business at Destination Southern Tasmania's awards last year. We won Best Superior Accommodation, and then we also took out the Best Superior Accommodation in Australia last year. The main thing with us is just trying to be genuine. We don't want to be, we try and take any pretentiousness out that maybe used to be in the industry, especially in the sort of more luxury sort of properties. And we want to just, first name basis and just, literally genuine. Just
welcoming,
be genuine. Yeah, exactly.
Very comfortable.
Yeah.
From luxurious premier accommodation to premium holidays and packaged private tours, Christina from Premier Travel Tasmania will design bespoke holidays to suit the most discerning traveller.
People
who are looking for an experience. So we actually call them experience seekers, generally speaking. Couples, even families from all around the world. They're coming here to experience what Tasmania has on offer. The beautiful food and wine, the animals, but also history, the culture in general, the landscape, the beautiful national parks. Part of what I love about what we do, we're able to promote all the different products around Tasmania. Our group of guides are very, very experienced. They have a huge expertise. Most of them, they do guiding because they love it. So we can offer French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese.
That's wonderful. When people actually get that opportunity to really embrace it, be with it, but understand it. And it's great that you do provide those multilingual guides.
We endeavour to offer meaningful experiences, so that's something different for everyone, and that's our approach, so a personalised approach.
Enlightenment. They come here feeling like they're leaving as a slightly different person through having experienced what they have with you.
Absolutely right, yes.
Wonderful. So many ways to see and experience Tasmania. And Coal River Coaches founder Rob Byrne has been taking people around the state for 25 years. There is a real pride in everything his team does. You started Coal River Coaches 25 years ago with one bus.
One bus, yes, an old bus, and tried to have quality vehicles in our fleet, and this is an example of what we have today. 25 buses of all different sizes. With all our vehicles out on the one day, we can accommodate 500 passengers in one movement.
That's amazing.
We start with our 7-seater vehicle up through the ranges, to the bigger bus, 57 and 48 seaters. We go from maximum leg room, the best seats we can buy, all the TVs, all the bells and whistles. Long days, some days are 10 and 12 hour days. You've got to have somewhere comfortable to sit and stretch your legs out.
Absolutely. You actually can plan right from the start, from flights through to accommodation through to full itineraries.
Absolutely, and that's something that we've brought on board in the last 3 or 4 years. A one-stop shop, and a lot of people enjoyed the service. It takes the worry out of it. We do everything in the background.
They're so shiny and clean and white, and they just look like a little family.
Yes, they do, Ange. We do put a lot of time into the presentation. Is everything to us. Inside and out, it doesn't matter where you look, they're totally clean. And people do recognise, and they'll let you know that, oh, hi, look at this, it's such a beautiful, clean coach.
I can see myself now just sit back and enjoy the ride.
That's it, that's right, relax. Yeah, you're on holidays.
Absolutely. Coaches are great, but if you want to experience the true, pristine, World Heritage listed Tasmania, you're going to need a plane. Shannon Wells owns Par Avion Airlines. Par Avion is just such a well-recognised and respected brand in Tasmania and in the tourism industry. I find it so amazing seeing Tasmania from the air and just seeing that gorgeous coastline and all of the white beaches and the beautiful blue seas.
Look, we're very lucky, aren't we? It's just so close to home, and we've got the tall sea cliffs, you've got the blue water, the trees, not many houses around, and we sort of have it all to ourselves.
You provide a lot of different tours. Tell me about the difference between some of them.
Okay, we focus in 3 main areas. We have the east coast of Tasmania, the west coast, and the southwest is what we're mainly known for. So the southwest is sort of our bread and butter. It's what I'm most passionate about. The Bathurst Harbour, Port Davey area. I say it's a bucket list item for nearly every Tasmanian has to do that trip down to southwest Tasmania.
Absolutely.
And we do a full day tour down there, and we have a wilderness camp as well.
Shannon, tell me a little bit more about the Southwest Wilderness Camp. It's an overnight trip?
So it's a 3-day, 2-night experience. So we start in Hobart. We depart Cambridge Airport in the morning, fly down the Doncaster Channel, past Huonville, Southport, round Southeast Cape, the most southern point of mainland Tasmania. Awesome. Then we hug the south coast and we land at Melaleuca. Hour by plane, half an hour by boat, and then you're at this sort of little secluded part of the national park. We've got accommodation for up to 10 people down there. We've got hot showers. We've got some great Tasmanian produce we put on there, so we really want to showcase the food and wine of Tasmania down there. And I guess you've got 3 days to really take in the national park at your own pace. If you want to do walking, we can climb Mount Rugby, or we can go to Spain Bay, or if you want to sit back and drink Chardonnay for 3 days and just sit one of your boats and cruise around and enjoy your phone not working and breathing the cleanest air in the world, then we can do that for you as well.
And it really probably actually is completely secluded, just total solitude.
I love aviation, I love Tasmania, and sort of what I feel is our advantage as a company is that we get to promote the best of both of it.
From the ancient to the brand new, Linda Collis is General Manager at Hobart's latest CBD hotel to open their doors, the Crown Plaza.
It's been a little while coming, but we're thrilled, and the hotel's just stunning, so we couldn't be happier.
Very impressive.
We've got Core Restaurant and Bar, where we're sitting right now, which is really focused on our Tasmanian produce and really paddock to plate.
And the fantastic deck.
The deck, it's an absolutely stunning, relaxed environment. So we want locals to come in and really enjoy being, I
can see myself sipping on a Tasmanian gin or wine. I can just imagine coming up here with a few friends, sitting on the deck, enjoying the early evening.
It is. It's a really relaxing environment out there. We've been really well supported to start with from our locals, which has been fantastic, but we really have established ourselves to be great for everyone within Australia, so that domestic travel market. And then we have a lovely ballroom, the Centurion Ballroom, which caters for well over 200 up to 500 theatre styles. So
right here in the middle of the city.
And a beautiful courtyard off the ballrooms.
This being such a huge and wonderful development, but am I right in understanding that it is actually Tasmanian owned?
It is a Tasmanian family that owns the hotel, which is really exciting to have that local contact. And I think the investment in the hotel is not just about money, but it's about heart and soul as well. So
passion for Tasmania.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tasmania is emerging as one of the world's best mountain bike destinations. And Debbie Glusky from the Old Wool Store knows the importance of getting the balance of adventure and accommodation just right.
We're excited to let you guys know that we've got a new bike wash on facility here, and right next door to it is a bike lockup. So any of those keen guests that are wanting to bring their bike with them, or they could hire something that's nearby with the family.
It's amazing, and it's the only one in Hobart?
Yes, the only hotel that has a bike wash. We've got 242 rooms here, and there's 5 different room types. One of the largest hotels in Hobart, and we've got basic hotel rooms through to apartment style. So we've got a studio apartment, 1-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom apartments. You can interconnect those if you wish. We can make 3-bedroom apartments.
So handy.
It's great for families. So we have a lot of leisure guests that come into the Wool Store, and a lot of groups too. All in those apartments are washer-dryer facilities, which is perfect if they're staying for 2 or 3 nights stay, or even a week, just to get around Tassie.
Riding gear.
Exactly.
Leaving Hobart for the day and heading to the ever-popular Bruny Island. So much to see and do, so where do you start? Shane from Bruny Island Safaris has you covered.
Well, Bruny Island Safaris we developed back in 2012, and we started our first tours in about October 2012. We had just myself really, a little minibus, and then it grew into 2 minibuses, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then we just decided to move into slightly bigger buses. But it wasn't until about 2015 we took on the lighthouse down here, and our tours are more a foodie focused and sightseeing and
local Bruny produce.
Definitely local produce. So you got the cheese and the oysters and beautiful lamb dishes on the island and the seafood. Our main tours are the foodie sightseeing tour. That's our most popular tour. We run a Bruny Island Overnight Explorer tour also. Cool. So we stay down the night, so we just slow the pace down and a little bit more relaxing. We do some bushwalking tours as well, so we've got the Bruny Island bushwalking tour.
Is it true that your dad was a lighthouse keeper and you spent some time in this very lighthouse in the 70s?
So we lived here during the late 70s.
Oh, what an amazing experience. Cool childhood. And obviously that has influenced, what you've what you're doing with Bruny Island Safaris and the lighthouse tour.
Yeah, I've just been coming here all my life, and you're just watching the island grow and grow and grow and grow.
Just everywhere you look is something magical to see. Well, the tour sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Yeah, come along.
Bruny Island has many accommodation choices on offer, and talking with Chris and Gary from Free Spirit Pods, I found out just how truly spiritual their 2 pods are in this slice of paradise. Well, Gary and Chris, I can completely see how that you've named this place Free Spirit Pods.
It seems to me just to be a very simple thing that you feel when you come here for our guests. And when I first discovered this block a couple of years ago, that was the feeling I got. The light, the light and the ambience, and just walking around this site.
I feel like I need to even speak slowly.
Or move slowly.
Yeah, this calm feeling, and right here on the water, and what a beautiful day it is.
We've got 200 metres of absolute waterfront.
Oh, wonderful.
And right next door we've got Quarantine Station State Reserve.
And I've noticed you've got some beautiful Tasmanian timbers inside the pods and beautifully furnished.
Handcrafted by a gentleman down South Bruny who's a well-known cabinet maker. And he used a mix of myrtle, blackwood, celery top and Tas oak.
And given that you're right on the water here, do people engage in some of the water sports or fishing?
They do. We've got 3 two-person kayaks. We also have all our fishing gear which we supply, including bait, rods, hand lines.
Before people get here, we say to them, look, let us know when you're leaving Hobart or on the ferry at Kettering, and we can turn the fires on for you.
I love that.
So when they get here, it's nice and cosy.
I'm sold. Experience Tasmania offers a huge range of half and full day tours. Proudly 100% Tasmanian owned, their team are really personable and know their stuff. I could talk with senior guide Tim for ages.
Essentially 2 different types of service. So one is offering regular day tours, which operate all around Tasmania, visiting some of our beautiful iconic locations. And the other side is private bookings. We are all proud locals. We do the job because we love the job, and we want people that visit our home to get the best possible experience. So travelling with us with one of our passionate guides is by far the best way to do it. Basically, if you can get out of bed in the morning, we will take care of everything else. We know that people will have expectations, especially travelling with Greyline, and we aim to exceed those expectations every time. This day and age, people not only want to have a great tour experience, but they also want to not have to worry about their safety or their comfort, and we take care of all of that. This is one of the most extraordinary places on earth, in my opinion. I think if you ask someone to create the ultimate holiday destination, well, okay, I want to have incredible wildlife, I want to have breathtaking, unique, ancient wilderness. I want to have rich history. I mean, not only our 200 years since British colonisation, but 40,000 years of Aboriginal occupation.
Absolutely.
That place has already been created. It's called Tasmania.
Lots of visitors to Hobart always talk about how close they are to many great attractions. Renee de Winter knows that the Hotel Grand Chancellor is all about location, location, location. So Renee, this is just definitely one of the most incredibly located hotels in Hobart.
We get a lot of people just wanting to just hang out in these spaces as well, watch the day go by. We get a lot of people sending pictures of sunrises and sunsets. We've even heard reports of people seeing seals and dolphins out here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I do love the fact that it doesn't matter which room you're in, you've either got a harbour view or you've got a mountain view.
You really get a sense of place being here. So there's 244 rooms. We have 12 suites, heated indoor pool, got quite a large gym as well, and sauna here on site. Restaurant Tasman. The atrium bar is a really nice spot to sit out and watch the day go by.
A cocktail in the afternoon or a wine.
Cocktail, wine, Tassie cheese platter, watching the boats go in and out. We've got a really warm and friendly approach with our team, and I think that's reflected in the hotel as well. Even though it's a big hotel, we do have these warm and intimate touches, like
space we've got here, this lounge area. The atrium bar, we'll light the fires down there in winter, so it's quite warm and intimate there as well.
Yeah, nice atmosphere if you're here for dark mofo or something.
Absolutely. And then over New Year's, obviously, that's the finish line for Sydney to Hobart as well. Obviously very spoilt for location there.
Yes. Yeah, I think I could stand here for a long time. Just over an hour's drive west from Hobart is the farming town of Hamilton. For generations, Tim Parsons' family has worked the land. Now, he and his wife Jane share that farmstay experience with people from all over the world. So, agritourism's sort of become a bit of a thing, but it sounds like you guys, your father started this quite a long time ago.
They had this little vision back in the mid-80s about building a little log cabin that they could rent out and make a bit of extra income. But along the way, the tourism has really complemented the farm business, and that diversification has been a fantastic extension of business development, which has worked fantastic for us.
So tell me, you make your jam?
Yeah, so we grow a few little raspberry canes. We've got 300 of those, and so we make our raspberry jam out of that, and with some other local raspberries as well. So we use our own eggs, we bake our own bread for the breakfast hampers in the cottages.
Yeah. I've been led to believe that we might have a little treat of scones
and
jam.
Come along.
Yeah, we've got a bit of morning tea up here in the cottage, so we'll go up and have a look.
Perfect timing. And how wonderful are these huge windows? You know, I went into one of the bedrooms and you actually really feel like you're out in nature.
Homemade raspberry jam, homemade scones, all fresh this morning, so please.
My mum and dad, the first one they built was called Over the Back, which was up over the back of that big hill we drove up. And then we come over the hill and it just opens out. You've got the lake and there's bush and forest and wallabies and animals around. And
I guess it's always changing with the seasons.
People always love to go away in the summertime, but look, it's just beautiful now, isn't it? Here we are sitting out here and it's snug, having the coffee.
Cosy.
Get a chance to wear your woolies. And,
I think people love that.
They do.
I think there's real romance in
that.
that.
Absolutely.
We also offer a little farm tour of looking around the farm where people can go walking in the little forest. We do an interp about the plants and animals and the ecology, how we look after the sheep as farmers and produce food and fibre for...
Do a sheepdog demonstration as well, which children love with the dog.
What are the dogs' names again?
We've got 3 generations of dogs, so and then Buster.
Sandy, Billy and Buster.
Yeah, Buster.
We're continuing on to Tasmania's wild west coast and the historic village of Strahan. Will Barber from RACT Destinations and Gordon River Cruises is definitely not keeping quiet about this full-day tour, even if the boat is.
The vessel we take up the Gordon River each day is called Spirit of the Wild. Built her a couple of years ago, and she's actually fitted with a fantastic hybrid diesel-electric propulsion system. So when we get onto the Gordon River, the skipper will say, "Ladies and gents, we're about to go into whisper mode," and the diesel's shut down and you cruise on electric propulsion up the river. It's not silent, but it is so quiet. It's just remarkable. It's incredible. I mean, you think about the world today, we all need a little bit of Tasmania and a little bit of wilderness. And to go up that UNESCO World Heritage listed river and just hear the birdsong through the forest, the clinking of champagne flutes and just people whispering as they take it all in, it's wonderful. You can sit on the main deck, which is where we have the bulk of our seating. Main deck centrals are really good with larger groups and families actually. They include your buffet lunch and of course our dedicated guides who run the boat and of course your land excursions. Or you might go upstairs into our premier upper deck, which is where you'll find the big angled leather recliners, an open bar all day. It's a real showcase of Tasmanian produce across the whole vessel, but especially upstairs in the premier upper deck. Tranquility's pretty hard to find these days, isn't it? And to be able to take people into that wilderness daily and show them truly what the Tassie wilderness is all about is something we're really proud to be able to do.
Tasmania has a rich pioneering history, and many settlers ended up on the gruelling West Coast. They breed them tough out this way. Emily Hopwood from West Coast Wilderness Railway knows the history well. Actually, I was intrigued. Was it built by convicts, the railway?
No. So it certainly has always been a really strong employer in the region, and even a century ago. It used to bring people down from all around Australia, and in actual fact they created their own little welfare experiment, you could say, where they actually made it one of the cheapest places to live in Australia, as long as you worked on the railway.
Did they give you a pair of gloves, do you think, and a beanie?
No, it's probably one of the things you didn't get. You didn't even really get a nice bed either, but you could buy cheap beer and cheap food.
Emily, is it actually the steepest track in the Southern Hemisphere?
One of them, yeah, absolutely. So the rack and pinion system was actually built 120 years ago, and it's a specialised system that hauls the locos up the track.
Wow, 120 years ago. I've been on the journey myself, and you know, the way it's cut through, right in nature, right through, so you feel like you're completely,
the rainforest is incredible. You know, we're talking about ancient, cool, temperate rainforest that just surrounds you. It's amazing to think that, you know, 100 or so years ago, they carved themselves through that without one stick of dynamite. It was just done by hand. It's incredible.
It's unbelievable.
All of our stops go through Double Barrel. So Double Barrel is where our wilderness rainforest walk is, and that's obviously really worthwhile.
And why is it called Double Barrel?
There's a few stories about Double Barrel. It's got a very interesting spelling, and they do think that perhaps one of the little Kerrison boys who used to live nearby actually spelt it incorrectly one morning when he was helping the guard load the carriages, and he popped a couple of barrels on and perhaps might have spelt it Double Barrel incorrectly.
So sweet.
The stewards are incredible. They really know their stuff, and they've immersed themselves in all those stories.
The lady that I had, she was totally got into character.
Oh, absolutely.
She really got into it, just very cheeky.
Yes, yeah, there's so many characters on the tour. You know, 120-year-old rivalries between Irish co-workers and people swindling each other out of money for gold and that sort of thing. So it's a really interesting trip.
Yeah.
It's only one hero, really.
And who's that?
Mother Nature, definitely.
Perfect. There is so much to do on the West Coast, so make sure you allow plenty of time to explore. One family, the Grinings, have spent more time here than anyone else. They've been running riverboats and cruises for 150 years. Bella from World Heritage Cruises is excited about the latest addition to their fleet.
We head out to Hell's Gates. We have 2 onshore guided tours, one at the ex-penal settlement, Mariah Island, and then we head up the beautiful Gordon River while we're having lunch. There's another onshore guided tour in the forest which has trees which are over 2,000 years old. We have a 35-metre catamaran that has 3 levels. There's the main deck, which is really great for groups and families. We also have a bit more of a premium offer upstairs. And then on the 3rd level is actually the captain's deck, where he steers the boat from it, and you can go in and say hi to the captain, and he sometimes lets you steer the boat, so it's very exciting.
That is exciting.
We also have another cruise during summer, the warmer months, for an evening cruise, which is a lovely option to have. It's all a very affordable experience. The owners of the boat want to keep it that way because they want everyone to come and experience the beautiful part of the world.
Am I correct in that next year will be the 125th year that you've been running and still family owned and operated?
That's right, yeah. So 6th generation are now in and working on the boat every day. The Grining family have been there and been building boats in that area for a very long time. And in fact, we're actually building a new boat as we speak, which will be launched in October. So we're so excited about that. And we think it's the best boat that we've built yet. The family are just so passionate about what they do. There's a lot of history and they really love to share that with their guests.
Leaving Strahan and heading to the far northwest corner of Tasmania is the last place you'd expect to find famous Australian political history. And Kerry from the Ship Inn boutique accommodation pays homage to Tasmania's only Prime Minister to date.
It's beautiful. It's quite moody, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Tasmanian wool,
Yes, absolutely. And Tasmanian timbers outside each suite.
Yes.
And a local artist did all the artwork for us outside each suite, which starts the stories of each suite.
Now, so tell me a bit about the stories.
So this is Lyons Retreat. So it's named after Joe Lyons, who was the only ever Prime Minister
Tasmanian.
from Tasmania.
I know.
Who was born next door in the little cottage.
That's amazing. I was reading before.
Yes.
I was walking past. It's so amazing.
And
I had no idea.
His grandfather built the inn. So we had to have a
And I
Lyons
believe
retreat.
he may have had his first ever beer at...
He may have.
He may have. He may have. He may have only
He may not.
12.
Yes.
So, Kerry, you and your partner Alistair have obviously put a lot of love and time and effort into this place.
Absolutely. I think if somebody had have said this is how long the renovation's going to take, would you like to do it? We probably would have said, no, thank you.
But you sort of tell, I mean, the standard is just absolutely wonderful. So how long's it been since you in your hands?
2 years.
2 years.
But we spent the first year basically renovating and then relaunched as the Ship Inn, which is what it was in the 1800s, the Ship Inn. So that was really lovely.
So nice. What a spot!
I know, it's pretty incredible.
Right.
So there's a lookout up the nut there, and when people are up there and yelling out cooey, you can actually hear them from down here.
I'm going to do that.
You can see the eagles. My husband Alistair is a stonemason, and because this is a volcanic area with the nut right there, the amount of stone that we were able just to take out of the garden and use for all those walls was just fantastic.
So when someone comes to Stanley and stays here, they're really getting to experience the nut,
Yes,
literally.
they are.
So what you said that it was 1840?
1849 this property was built.
Wow, if walls could talk.
One thing about Stanley is the view, and Clint Walker owns 2 accommodation offerings that certainly make the most of it. Horizon Luxury Accommodation and the Seaview Inn.
Clint, what a morning and what a view.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? Not bad.
So they call these Horizon Deluxe Apartments? I'm starting to see why.
Yeah.
You can literally see that's like a 180 view.
We've got 5 boutique luxury apartments here.
I can see, look at this big bath. And the Seaview Inn?
Yeah, Stanley Seaview Inn. It's a 3.5-star country inn. Most of the rooms look out over this very same view.
Yeah,
so,
fantastic.
Yeah, we're really lucky. You can just spend hours just sitting there. You don't need the TV on. You just sit here and look out and watch the clouds go by, watch the fishing boats come and go.
I'm definitely coming back. You're pretty well versed on the beautiful town of Stanley. You know.
Yeah, well, I've been living here doing this for 19 years now, so we might as well say 20 years.
Yeah.
It's a magnificent little town.
And the rock itself, so it's actually volcanic?
It's what remains. It's what they call a volcanic plug. The volcano erupted, lava went everywhere, and then the crater was left filled with magma.
Yep.
And then over the course of 7 million years, the rest of the volcano has eroded away, and what's left is what was the plug in the top of the volcano.
Amazing. And here we've got a little selfie spot.
So we put this in a couple of years ago. This is really popular.
Smile!
Many thousands of visitors arrive at Devonport, the gateway for the start of their adventure. And it's the spirit of Tasmania that gets them here. Put your feet up and relax, an essential part of any getaway. With 222 cabins and 121 recliners on board, supreme comfort is what Spirit of Tasmania does best. No matter your budget, there are options to suit all travellers. Enjoy a journey that's more than just a ferry to Tasmania. In the coastal town of Beauty Point is the very popular Seahorse World. Owner and founder, Craig Hawkins, is taking me on a real hands-on tour.
When did you start this?
Well, it started as a farm, and it was just that people wanted to look at what was going on and started knocking on the door, and it opened up from there. We breed various species from around the world. The Tasmanian potbelly seahorse is what we've got on display. It's the world's biggest seahorse.
So there are males and females in this tank?
Yes, these are breeders.
How can you tell?
Well, the female doesn't have a pouch. She's got, I call it the seahorse six-pack. She's got a belly that's tight and hard, whereas he's got this big, soft, spongy pouch.
So is it true that in the world of creatures, the seahorse may be possibly the only one where the male is the one that births the babies?
It is, yeah, it's the only one we know of.
Do they nurture them?
No, they can in fact eat them, so we want to get them over here.
Too good to be true.
Yeah. So one of the real highlights here for people is the ability to actually touch a few animals. And
Got my sleeves.
Some people wonder if, you know, it really is okay to hold a seahorse, but they're armoured, and that's why we allow it. Yeah, so this is a room that's dedicated to Tasmanian marine animals, and we've got a really spectacular giant crab just here.
So that's a Tasmanian crab?
It is, yeah.
Wow.
He's over 10 kilos, that one.
Oh my gosh. And so Craig, it's not just seahorses that you have here though, you've got the handfish, the really rare.
Yes, yeah, we've got 2 species of handfish. Yeah. That's been a very challenging project for the last 2 years or so. First tank here is the spotted handfish. It's only found in the Derwent River near Hobart. We're just part of the National Threatened Species Recovery Team for it. Our job being to educate people and to maybe try and breed a backup population. This is an even rarer one. It's the red handfish. There's only about 80 left in the wild, estimated.
Oh my gosh.
2 populations no bigger than this room. And it's probably the only place you can see it as a member of the public.
Here?
Here, yeah.
Seahorse World, amazing.
Arriving in Launceston, it's always good to return to a friendly place to stay. Hotel Grand Chancellor's Jocelyn knows just what makes this property so popular.
So Jocelyn, the Grand Chancellor was established 30 years ago, is that right?
Absolutely, 30 years ago, and I know that well, Ange, because I was here at the time.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was.
Well, that speaks volumes about the sort of hotel it obviously is.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a wonderful hotel. It's such a vibrant part of the community.
Yeah.
And it's like when we come in the door, this beautiful lobby that we have here on show. You know, such great space, and immediately see the fountain, which water is welcoming and divinely sublime and beautiful. And then you can go through to the restaurant and eat while the water just cascades down.
And another reason why I love staying here is the proximity to everything in Launceston.
And indeed, you're so right. I mean, the proximity to the city park. Cataract Gorge, which is our marquee in Launceston. It's a beautiful city to walk around in. You're not even 2 minutes away from the main shopping strip.
I love that about Launceston. It's very walkable, but at the same time, you're sort of in this valley. Oh. So it's very picturesque.
It's just a divine place, and the whole city feels warm.
Yeah. It's so nice every time I come here to recognise the same staff, and they seem to recognise me back. It's a really nice touch.
Isn't it? That's how you feel welcome when someone walks in with a smile on their face. Straight away you're welcomed, and that's wonderful. And that's what we do take great pride in our staff in being able to do.
It's a sense of feeling like you're coming home. Tell me, coming from the East Coast, is it Launceston or Launceston?
It's Launceston.
Right, good to clear that up.
It might look like I've left Tasmania and arrived in Switzerland. And that was the idea all those years ago when Rolf Voss and his wife dreamt up the concept. Damien is the general manager of Aspect Tamar Valley Resort.
So Damien, this really is like being in Switzerland.
It is like being in Switzerland.
So what's the history? How did it come to be?
So Mr. and Mrs. Voss, they were Dutch immigrants. Just over 30 years ago, Mrs. Voss wanted to move to Switzerland. So instead he built her Grindelwald. So yeah, there's a town in Switzerland. I've been there, Grindelwald.
Have you?
I have. It's beautiful. Yeah, it looks just like it. It's really special.
Yeah, it is. And I've stayed here with my family.
Yes.
A couple of times actually, and really enjoyed it. And there's the pool. There's the jumping balloons, pillows.
Yeah,
that's so much fun.
They are fun. We get the family market, but we also get the couples that are coming in, and we get groups that come in. So, you know, it ticks all the boxes. We've got lots of space, lots of facilities and activities, so it's really a perfect cross-section.
Yeah, because you've just got everything on site. You've got how much accommodation?
97 rooms.
The golf is a popular element of this place.
Yeah, it's really good. In the last couple of years, we've spent a lot of work. We've got a new greenkeeper working on it, and it's looking spectacular.
It certainly is. It's looking super green. They're beautiful looking, aren't they? And so, is there other wildlife here on site? Wallabies and...
Yeah, lots of wallabies, possums, little platypus down in our bottom lake.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And rabbits.
Yes.
Lots of bunnies.
I remember the bunnies. Very, very cute.
Being a river city, Launceston is really accessible by bike. So I'm saddling up with Alison from On Your Bike Tours to see what you can discover on 2 wheels.
So Alison, how long have you been doing the On Your Bike Tours?
We've been running for about 5 years now. We offer 4 distinctly unique tours. One of our most popular ones actually is the Joseph Cromey Winery tour.
Oh, nice.
So we do a wonderful experience out at the vineyard, and then we finish off with a pretty amazing wine tasting at the cellar door. Another popular tour is called Ride the Taste. So this is for our foodie tour. So this is where we ride around Launceston to the beautiful Stillwater restaurant, and I leave the guests there for an amazing lunch.
Lovely, yeah.
Then we ride back along the river to the equally amazing Bogue's Brewery Beer Lover Centre, and they have a beer tasting. My favourite tour is called Ride the River, and we do a 3.5-hour tour that takes you not only along the rivers and cycling trails, but also through some of our quiet back streets that even some of the locals don't even know about.
So your 4th tour, Ride the Harvest, can you tell me about that one?
Absolutely. So this is a breakfast tour. So it's for those people who want to, get their day started by having a really nice cycle. We visit the local harvest market, which is full of amazing Tasmanian produce.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, and the cost actually includes breakfast of choice and a coffee. So we're all done and dusted by 9:30. Yeah, on a good day, you can see our 3 mountains, Mount Arthur, Mount Burrow, and Ben Lomond. As a child, when I was at primary school, the way we would remember that is that Arthur wheeled his barrow up Ben Lomond.
If you're after a more gentle pace, then Matt from Go Walk Tas has a range of walks to suit everyone.
So Matt, at Go Walk Tas, I believe you've got 2 different walks?
Yeah, we've got 2 tours, Ange. We've got the Cataract Gorge, where we are walking through right now, which takes in the natural beauty of this natural playground in, the heart of Launceston. The other one goes through the city, which is one of the oldest cities in Australia, after Sydney and Hobart. 3rd, some say 4th oldest city in Australia, because it did move locations a couple of times. And that takes in the really well-preserved architecture of Launceston, which it's probably one of the best preserved cities in Australia. They get to step back in time with our little visual time machines, we like to call them.
Tell me about that. What is that?
Yeah, so it's one of the old Viewmaster reels you may remember back from the late 80s. We've developed our own library of old historical photos, and we'll take you to various points throughout the city and the gorge, and we'll be able to show you the same spot up to 150 years ago, what life was like back then. Even we can show you them moving King's Bridge into place.
It's like one of those little gadgets that you use to click
put on
through.
on your face and you click
It
through.
literally is one of those.
It is one of those.
And so Matt, you've got the food element with Stillwater?
We do. We offer the option of a meal at the end of each tour,
yeah,
regardless of what time of day we're running the tour, to one of Launceston, if not Tasmania's, best dining venues.
Oh, it's so good.
Stillwater restaurant.
Yeah.
Delicious. No bias at all. My brother is the chef, but
is he really?
He is. Yeah, it's just a really special riverside venue for a really well-rewarded meal at the end of our tours.
Perfect.
If bike riding and walking is all too much, and you're after luxury travel experiences throughout the state, Simon McDermott from McDermott's Coaches can definitely help you out. Starting with the pride of the fleet are these brand new Volvo coaches.
We operate all over Tasmania in a variety of different ways. Our business is fairly varied, so we work with a number of inbound operators as well as our local market. You can spend a week on one of our vehicles travelling around with one of our drivers, or 2 hours at Cradle Mountain, or a day trip from Launceston.
Tell me a little bit about the Cradle Mountain Discoverer.
Yeah, so the Cradle Mountain Discoverer is a contract with the Tasmanian Parks and Wildlife, and it runs the people from the new visitor centre into Dove Lake, and we've just purchased 4 hybrid diesel electric vehicles for that contract. First of that type of vehicle anywhere in the world to run in a tourist operation, which is a pretty proud moment for our company. All new vehicles that we purchased is the highest spec in environmental standards you can get, and also safety standards.
You want to know that, and then you want to forget about it and sit back and enjoy the ride.
Enjoy, yeah. We can cater for groups from 12 to 500
oh, wow.
and offer the same standard of vehicle, which sets us apart from any other company in Tasmania.
And Simon, obviously an absolute quality service, judging by your accreditations.
Yeah, so we've got the green tick and the Tasmanian Quality Service. We put a lot of work into making sure that that standards across our whole business. So it's not just one beautiful bus, it's our whole fleet, and it's something we're really proud of.
I might just get comfortable and set in for the day, Simon. I'm feeling pretty cosy here. I've got a great big view out the window and
yeah,
very cosy.
Go for it.
Thanks.
Launceston is embracing its popularity as a tourist destination, and that means more accommodation is needed. Kate from Verge Hotel is excited about opening the doors. Kate, this is so exciting. Launceston's newest boutique accommodation.
It's a project that's been a couple of years in the making, and we're super excited to see it launch 2020.
Designed by Cumulus?
Yeah, that's correct. Sort of well known for their hospitality, architecture and tourism. So we're super excited to have them on board, and I think it's reflecting in quite a different hotel.
And fully Tasmanian owned.
Absolutely. So we're sort of Tasmanian owned and operated, as well as being designed and built. So we're really proud to have that Tasmanian flavour and edge.
And Kate, what a fantastic location this is.
Oh, absolutely. To be a brand new sort of purpose-built hotel in this location is pretty exciting. We're in the heart of the CBD, so we're really super lucky to have so many attractions on our doorstep. We're positioning where we are to partner with Harvest Market on a number of initiatives, and obviously using that seasonal produce through our restaurant as well.
So Kate, what are some of your favourite elements of the hotel?
One of my favourite elements is the lighting.
Yeah.
So it's very unique. It really captures the kind of heart feel of the industrial look of the hotel.
Absolutely, and yet it sort of has a warmth to it at the same time for that nice sense of balance.
I think it really softens that harshness of the bricks and the timber and the concrete. The facade is quite deliberate in terms of it's keeping with Launceston in the area, but laid in a really modern way. It's very much the old industrial hub of Launceston. So we've got Bogue's Brewery, which is one of the oldest breweries here, and that's within short walk, and it's just...
You want that to be a short walk.
Oh, absolutely.
One of Launceston's most famous attractions is Pennyroyal Adventures. How awesome to have an experience like this just minutes from the CBD. I love coming here, and Alex Groves knows what makes it so popular.
So here we are, stepping back into a bit of ye olde Van Diemen's Land. Was this a quarry?
This was a quarry back in the day, yes. It used to be a bluestone quarry. A lot of the original roads in Launceston were constructed out of the bluestone from this quarry.
So Alex, when were these stone buildings constructed?
So the stone buildings, they were constructed in the 1970s by a local developer who found the stones down in southern Tasmania and decided he wanted to reconstruct them up in Launceston. So this is all the cliff walk. So basically, you get a harness on, you start at one end, you make your way all the way around the bridges and then back down the stairs, and while you're up there you've got beautiful views all over the Tamar Valley region.
I see you've got the bar up here, and I've had lunch up here before in the past, which was fantastic.
We've got Brady's Tavern now as well, so you've got pizzas in there as well as your fine wines and the brewery.
Yeah.
You've got the Convict Cafe where we do some easier sort of food options for families and things like that.
Great.
And then we've got the restaurant. So the water wheels, they're actually to replicate how you used to bore out a cannon. This is a forge mill. The water wheel would go around from the force of the water, and then it shows you different stages about how they used to bore them out.
The boat and the cannons, tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, so the Brig Tamer cruise. So the boat goes around the lake here on a rail.
Yeah.
And as you're going around, you've got a captain on board, and he's explaining a bit of history about Van Diemen's Land. And as you're going around, you fire the cannons off, you stop on the fort for a bit of a tour where you can find some jail cells with Matthew Brady and Alexander Pearce.
And I've heard of Matthew Brady.
He was known as the Gentleman Bushranger because he never hurt anyone that he captured or anyone that he robbed from. He liked to be known as the Gentleman Bushranger. So when we fire the cannons, you've got a nice little charge in there that your kids get to fire. And it's a very good feeling when you see a big bang and a lot of smoke come out.
I reckon,
Yeah.
especially in this sort of environment where, you
get the echo off the cliff.
Yeah.
And, if you're standing in front of the cannon, you feel it in your chest. It's pretty cool.
Feels like the real deal.
Absolutely.
If you want to make a weekend of play and stay in Launceston, then right next door to Pennyroyal Adventures is Leisure Inn Pennyroyal. Mark is the GM and revels in the history of the buildings.
Mark, I love the fact that you feel like you're in a completely different time. This place is obviously full of history.
Oh, it is, and the original building over here was a corn mill and water mill, and it was actually built in 1825, and it was actually from Cressy, and then they moved it brick by brick and rebuilt it here in about 1972.
Glad we didn't have to do that.
Absolutely. We've got hotel rooms. Yep. We've also got apartments, 1, 2, 3 and a 4-bedroom apartment up at the adventure parks. It only started out as a 14-room hotel.
Oh, how many is it now?
So we're between the two complexes, we've got 81.
Mark, I love all the old touches of this room. Like, they look like they're authentic.
You've got the old bench seat here, all the old beams.
And I love also the window there.
Yeah, the windows, and that's what gives you that old English charm, those
Yes.
windows. So this is the original corn mill. We've got the river just across the road.
Excellent.
And then you've got the gorge just a 5-minute walk away. So we get a lot of people staying here and walking up the gorge.
You've got your restaurants that are close by here too?
Yeah, so we've got 2 restaurants on site. So we've got Kingsbridge Tavern and we've got the Penny Royal Wine Bar and Restaurant.
And so, Mark, a little birdie told me that there might be some chocolates.
Yes, we have got Goulet's Chocolate Factory on site as well. So perfect spot if you've got a sweet tooth, and that's where you can find me.
Wine and chocolate, you got me.
Absolutely.
I'm sold.
Tasmania is the country's best state for walking, and Heath from Tas Walking Company is passionate about keeping it natural. Not hard to see why they've won so many awards.
So, Heath, there's a really strong eco element to the walk.
Yeah, really big focus of what we do. We're just getting guests out into these wild places that Tasmania's got to offer. The journey aspect's really important. All of our experiences, they're 3, 4 or 6 days, so they're multi-day walks, and we really aim for that sense of journey across the trip. Immersing themselves in the places we're walking through is an important part of it, and also just the way we run the operations of each of our 5 products in Tassie. The Mariah Island long weekend, we've got the 4-day Bay of Fires Lodge walk, the Wineglass Bay Sail Walk, which is dotted along the east coast, Tasman National Park, Mariah Island National Park and Freycinet National Park. Oh, it's great. We've got a 75-foot ketch that our guests stay on.
Oh, really?
And yeah, kind of transports them between each of those national parks, and then they go for little day walks during the day, which is great.
Gosh, that's a real treat, because they can be a little bit tricky to get to otherwise.
We've got 5 huts along the 6-day overland track walk. We're privileged enough to have the only private huts along the track. It's just a wonderful journey all the way through to Lake St Clair, which is the deepest lake in the southern hemisphere. We're aiming for peace of mind, so people just don't need to worry. We've got over 100 guides on staff across all of our walks. We have executive chefs that come in and help us out with the food side of things as well. We'll just tell them what to bring, we'll provide everything else, and they can just take the place in across the whole experience.
Yeah, just get yourself to the island.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to tourism and hospitality in Tasmania, one person truly deserves the mantle of legend in the industry: Joseph Cromey. I've been to his winery and restaurant many times, and manager David Milne shares Joe's passion for the region.
Tell me a little bit about that history.
Joe grew up under really trying circumstances. His village in Czechoslovakia was occupied during the war. Post-Second World War, it was occupied by the Soviets, and he knew there was more to life. And he's actually developed some of Tasmania's leading wine brands. And in 1997, he established Tamar Ridge. By 2003, it was so successful that he was made an offer he couldn't refuse. And at the age of 74, everyone thought he'd go into retirement, and 12 weeks later, he bought the vineyard that we're at now. So Joseph Cromey Wines is one of the few wineries in Tasmania that grows, makes and bottles its wines on site. One of the most popular experiences that we do is called the Art of Sparkling. It enables visitors to the winery to go through the sparkling winemaking process. From the time the fruit comes in, they'll be able to taste the base wine, so works in progress, take them through the whole traditional method of making sparkling wine, and then we get them into the laboratory and get them to liqueur their own sparkling wines and essentially curate a wine to their own palate.
Great restaurant.
Oh, look, they do an excellent job. The chef does an amazing menu, and we're fortunate to have chef's hats for the last 5 years.
And I see here we've got reserved Joe's Corner.
That's right, yeah. That's Joe's little area to go sort of stare at his navel, get some inspiration.
And here he is, approaching 90 or something?
90 in December, over everything. He's here most days. He knows what we're all up to. He's an inspiration, that's for sure.
Leaving Launceston and heading to the east coast, my backyard, St Helens, is a great place for families. Kristen from Choice Hotels, Comfort Hotel Bayside, explains what the attraction is.
Kristen, you've got an amazing spot right here on the water with the Comfort Inn Bayside.
Yes, it is a beautiful spot looking over the bay, which is wonderful for the fact that, all the rooms on the front of the building look over the bay as well. You can sit on the balconies and just watch the world go by.
Absolutely. Call me biased. I am from the East Coast, but the sun's out. It's always out on the East Coast.
Beautiful Bay of Fires, Billong Bay is close by. You've also got Swansea down the road.
Yep.
And lots of little places. And also you've got now, they've started to go into the mountain bike trails, which has been really good for the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And how fantastic. It's actually very well serviced, St Helens, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. No, it is really, really well serviced. You've got large supermarkets and good little shops.
Kristen, I'm looking around and obviously seeing the beautiful blue water and all the boats. Do people come here for fishing trips as well?
Oh, yes. No, there is a lot of fishermen come through. It's one of the reasons why it's good with our car park, because you can put a boat in there for the night.
Excellent.
And go and have a pub meal and a sleep.
Yeah, fantastic. And you've got the park and the nice shoreline for the kids to come and have a little fossick and play. And
we get a lot of families coming for, the budget-friendly sort of family holidays, because we've got that good mid-range room varieties and things like that. So we get a lot of sort of younger couples as well coming down to enjoy the beaches and things like that. No, it is a wonderful spot.
Rob Pennicott is truly a pioneer of tourism in Tasmania. His yellow boats get people up close and personal all over the state. Bruny and Tasman Islands, seafood seduction, even Wilson's Promontory in Victoria. Now he's added East Coast cruises to his ever-increasing fleet. What a legend.
Started 21 years ago in '99 at Bruny Island with a little 12-seat boat. First year took 1,200 people and lost $40,000. So he soon had to change that without any doubt. Yeah, I've got 18 boats now. I just love showcasing every part of Tassie for sure.
And I know now you're also up on the East Coast.
Yes, we started that last year at Wineglass Bay Cruises. Have you been to Isle de Foe?
No.
Yeah, it's an island sort of 10 minutes from Shooten Island, and it is just a bird sanctuary, a seal hangout, and very few people know about it, so it's going to be lovely.
Amazing.
We've got Tasman Island cruises near Port Arthur, highest sea cliffs in the southern hemisphere, into caves, blowholes. Seafood seduction is going great guns, 12-seat maximum.
Yep.
We jump in and get abalone, and we take live lobster, bottomless pit of oysters, wash it down with beautiful Tasmanian wines.
Do people get to sometimes experience dolphins and whales and...
Yeah, I think we've got them on the payroll. We've been very, very lucky. A couple of years ago, we did win the most sustainable tourism product in the world, which was quite amazing to win that.
That's incredible.
And for me, obviously, it's financial, but the environmental is very important.
Yes.
So too is the community.
Yes.
And so too is the staff. Me as just one product would be nothing, but it's all of us working together to make a destination, and that's what makes Tasmania great.
Coles Bay is the jewel in the crown for the East Coast. And what better way to explore it than with Freycinet Experience Walk? Zoe Bock never gets tired of showing off the stunning scenery.
It's a really special 4 days that we spend with quite an intimate small group of people. It's one of those experiences where guests can leave their luggage at the lodge, leave all of the organising to us and just really immerse themselves.
Tell me a little bit about this Eco Lodge. Sounds fabulous.
It is absolutely beautiful. The space just feels so incredible that has such a strong urge to come back there and be a part of it and be a part of all of the conservation work that was going on.
Friendly Beaches is just one of the most exquisite beaches. It can be that you feel like you're the only people on that big, white, expansive beach.
It is completely off-grid.
Yeah.
There was a lot of thought put into how the lodge space can be as minimal impact. You can't see the lodge from Friendly Beaches at all, even though it's only 100 metres away, and you can hear the waves rolling in of an evening. So it's so close, but so tucked away as well. We supply really wonderful Gore-Tex rain jackets and day packs, as well as walking poles, drinking bottles, torches, those sorts of things. And then guests can bring along their clothes that they're most comfortable hiking in. We collect them on day one of our experience from the Old Woolstone Hotel in Hobart. And then we meet our wonderful skipper, Matt, at the Coles Bay Jetty to head out to Shootin Island. And our lodge hosts, who are super passionate cooks as well, really make the most of where we're situated and showcasing local produce, including a lot of our seafood. We operate from October through to April. So when the whales first start migrating along the coast and when our wildflowers really start sort of peeping out for the spring months, that's when we start bringing our guests through the peninsula. And then all the way through to the start of autumn, when we have some really incredible bird sighting opportunities.
After exploring Coles Bay, you deserve a bit of downtime in this beautiful national park. Trent Thompson is manager of Freycinet Lodge.
Here we are right in the National Park. We're in the heart of the National Park at the base of all the walks and the beautiful Hazards Mountains, surrounded by beautiful beaches.
The only accommodation inside Freycinet National Park, which is great. It's a good base to start all the local walks, experiences. The most iconic walk is the Wineglass Bay Walk, which I believe is about 300,000 people a year go
and
over
it's
that track.
fantastic.
We have our jetty just out here, which local tour companies come and pick up guests and take them out on cruises. We book their tours for them. We've got the Bay Restaurant and Richardson's Bistro. A Bay Restaurant is contemporary Australian cuisine with some really great fresh local seafood. Accommodation, 5 different room types, ranging from our pavilions over there, which we can see right now, through to our standard single room cabins. There's accommodation range for everyone.
Such a sensational place in Tasmania. It's just one of the gems.
It certainly is.
Just down the road past my house is the town of Tribunna. It's from here you can get to Mariah Island. Ian Johnston started the Mariah Island Walk and set the standard for luxury eco-tourism.
It's 100% national park, World Heritage listed. They call it the Noah's Ark for Tasmanian animals, and we've been lucky to have the business there for nearly 20 years. There's a whole lot of animals you don't find outside of Tasmania. There's Tasmanian devils, there's paddy melons, which is a little tiny wallaby only found in Tasmania. There's eastern grey kangaroos, there's wombats everywhere. It's really the wombat capital of Australia. So our major tour is a 4-day walk called the Mariah Island Walk, starts and finishes in Hobart. We're fortunate to have a licence to have 2 wilderness camps in remote parts of the island. And then on the last night we leased one of the beautiful old heritage houses in Darlington, which is a World Heritage listed convict settlement older than Port Arthur. 3 beautiful days walking along through the island, cover pretty well the full length, and each night we stay in beautiful accommodation. We have the guides cook up beautiful food with all the delicious larder from Tasmania. It's an all-inclusive package, so you just really turn up with a pair of walking boots, some walking gear, and we provide the rest. So our main walk is the 4-day walk, which goes for the 7 months over summer. In the winter, we offer a winter escape. So that's just based out of Benaki House, which is the beautiful house we have in Darlington. It's a maximum of 8 guests this time. The island you pretty well have completely to yourselves. We recently picked up our 5th Australian Tourism Award, and that was for the best ecotourism operator in Australia. To win ecotourism is something we're very proud of. It's about having a small footprint on the earth, and really as we take our guests through the beautiful landscape, it's about respecting the culture and the history and the wildlife.
Tourism is big business around the world. And of course it's big in Australia. But good old Tassie punches well above its weight, sweeping the National Tourism Awards over the last several years. With such a high-performing industry, it's only natural that the team making it happen are just as passionate about being the best. John Fitzy Fitzgerald and Kat Carey from Tourism Tasmania just love everything about this great state.
You know, we've been on this wonderful journey around Tasmania, and I just don't think there's a single part of it that's not interesting and has all the beautiful stories and tales of history and...
Just incredible diversity. We've really smashed it out of the park in recent years, and I think that's because people understand the reality of Tassie. People want those locally produced and connected experiences. They want to meet the maker, and it's a destination in its own right.
When you come to Tassie,
that you will experience this quirk, you will experience this really proud level of quality that people invest into their business, and you sense it. None of them are the same. Like, they are all these wonderful, interesting people with these fantastic stories, and there's nothing cookie cutter about their experiences or about what they offer.
You look at this small island and you think, oh, I'll just go for a week or whatever, and then you get here and you realise you're stopping everywhere, engaging with the locals, because that's the big thing, isn't it? Yep. It's the local people in Tassie and their connection to the place that makes it special. That's the great thing, just the friendly locals and the way they want everyone to be successful, not just their own businesses.
I love the fact that we're embracing our Indigenous culture.
Tassie's got a pretty brutal story, as we all know, a hurtful story, but it's great to see our Aboriginal communities emerging now and wanting to be part of the visitor economy, the tourism sector, and we're only going to see more products and experiences that are led by Aboriginal Tasmanians, and that's exciting for our future. People know that we are the best in the world. We can deliver the best experiences that are available. And the success story around that is being very Tasmanian. It's about being who we are. And
Absolutely.
I think that's what we've struck gold with, is understanding who we are and just projecting that to the world.
Back in Hobart, and it still amazes me how we have so much wildlife literally at our back door. Tony from Wildway Tours knows just where to look.
We're a small specialised company that have devil viewing hides where people can stay overnight and see devils, quolls, birds of prey, things like that. We're spending a lot of time currently in the Derwent Valley and in the Huon, but one of our best devil hides is at Margate. It's literally suburban Hobart. We supply food. The hide has beds, so you stay the whole night. There's one-way glass, so the devils look at a mirror. You see out, you're quite comfortable in there, it's inside toilet. And you go there about half an hour before dark, and we pick you up first thing the next morning.
Right.
There's a camera there that films everything with good audio, so you get footage as well.
Oh, you get to keep that?
Yes, you get that.
Fantastic.
So what often happens, devils will turn up when they turn up. They always turn up at the hides, but they might turn up early, or the first devil mightn't turn up till 3 in the morning. We do short tours with platypus, which is usually 2 hours, so that's open to anyone. More specialised things with birds of prey, raptors, so we take people around and show them eagles, masked owls of an evening, peregrine falcons on the cliffs, things like that. We do a spotlight, so you'll see quolls close up, eastern barred bandicoots, some of our more endangered species. So depending on what someone wants to see or do, we'll endeavour to find the animals for them.
Ian Rankin is the CEO of Innkeepers Tasmania, a recognised and trusted brand of accommodation around the state. They've been helping visitors plan, book and experience amazing Tasmanian holidays for over 30 years.
The Innkeeper Group is nearly 50 years old in actual fact. Leonard of Hobart actually dates back to 1874, and the original building behind us, you'll see, that was built by a whaling magnate, an early parliamentarian of Hobart.
Wow.
And in 1974, where we're standing right at the moment, is when the hotel section was added on. So it's got a wonderful history and it's beautifully preserved. Well, as we like to say, you can stay at Leonard on a weekend and literally fall out of bed and you're in the Salamanca market. The bulk of our market is really touring, 25 properties. They're in all the key locations around the island. Port Arthur, the East Coast, up to Cradle. We've got hotels, resorts, lodges all around the island. Tasmania is more of a discovery voyage, a journey rather, and you can tour right round. We get people out into our regions, and we realise it's not as easy for a lot of people to book when you're talking about multiple destinations. So that's the beauty of what we offer. We provide a central reservation facility for people where basically one call to us, we can do basically everything for them. People who are probably more discerning, who want some good quality and in particular want to be in the really key locations around Tassie. We have apartment style, which are very good for families, and increasingly we see couples that are travelling together and maybe want to have the benefit of a 2-bedroom apartment. They've got self-catering facilities. We provide, if you stay a minimum of 5 nights, the traveller gets a $50 free petrol card, up to $150 actually if they're staying here for 14 nights. We're ideally situated to help people on their touring itinerary. So there's a number of options. We're not hard to find.
Well, We've been out west, seen the north and east, but there's still so much more to see and do. I'm heading south to Brooks Bay with Rachel from Essentially Tas, who has a suite of boutique properties in the region.
Rachel, this is the most stunning view.
It's pretty lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. And so, where exactly are we?
So this is Brooks Bay.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we're looking right out on the banks of the Huon River.
Who are coming to stay at Essentially Tas?
Well, because we have quite a vast range of different types of properties, our clientele vary quite a lot as well. So from families at Driftwood Cottages through to purely couples and adult groups at the Peninsula Experience, which is another one of our properties. This one's quite family friendly, so they do vary. Some of them are adults only and some of them are well and truly set up to cater for children as well. We have 16 in Essentially Tas, from Brooks Bay all the way down to Southport.
Oh, fantastic. And I can't see any others in sight, so they're obviously spread out.
Yeah, they are. They're all quite solitary, I suppose.
Yes.
So yeah, lots of space to move and not looking over at your neighbours. Some of them are a little bit closer. So Driftwood Cottages in Dover, that's one complex where we have quite a few on the one site, but they're still all individual and they all have their own little balconies. Several of our properties have jacuzzis or hot tubs. Others have wood fires, some of them have both, of course.
Nice.
Some of our properties are also pet friendly, which is quite popular now.
Oh, that's really good. That's a big tick for me.
All of our properties are fully self-contained.
Yeah,
so
great.
they all have things like coffee machines and their own barbecues.
I can't wait to come back and stay.
One company is the backbone of tourism in Tasmania. Federal Group employs hundreds of people across their properties. The first hotel was the iconic Rest Point, as General Manager Andrew Fox explains.
There's been a hotel on this site for over 100 years. Wow. It goes back right into the early 1900s. So now we've got 269 rooms in total, including the tower. We've got 3.5, 4 and 4.5 star accommodation and a beautiful selection of newly refurbished suites and rooms. Well, we certainly have everything under one roof. 4 bars, 3 restaurants, a big entertainment centre, regular calendar of events. We really are very popular for all the locals, interstate and international customers.
And here we are sitting in the Point Revolving restaurant, which is so much fun, and you go around and you get those incredible views.
It's 77 minutes to Revolve. We serve modern French cuisine, a number of dishes, flambé dishes that are extremely popular and always have been in this restaurant. Huge selection of local and international wines as well. Yeah. Obviously, this state's renowned for its fresh produce and seafood, and we showcase all of that depending on what's in season at the time. We've got a number of different venues. We have entertainment. We do some outdoor entertainment, big concerts, as well as small intimate shows in our showroom. So we've always got something here for people to come and watch. So we have a full tour desk as well. Tours, car hires. We have a shuttle bus to Salamanca Market every Saturday as well.
Terrific.
I think we've probably got the best location in Hobart for a stay. A lot of guests actually enjoy the outdoor spaces. So we've got beautiful gardens. We've got a chef's garden outside that people sit and pick all the strawberries and raspberries when they're in season, etc. There is so much to do and we're only a couple of minutes from the main city centre. But most guests, to be honest, when they come, they will stay and they will spend the whole weekend here.
For large group travel offering bilingual guides, James Yu from Ausasia Travel works with operators around the state, a one-stop shop for inbound travellers.
We have day tours and 2 days, a 3-day, 4-day, 5-day tour. It's lots of package. Most of the groups we organize the hotel, the meals, attractions, transportation, everything. Basically, we focus on the Chinese-speaking travelers. We have the tourists coming from Mainland Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Malaysia, and China, including Taiwan and Hong Kong.
What are some of the sites that people really love to come and see?
For Hobart, I reckon Mount Wellington is icon, isn't it? And also Port Arthur. Yeah, historical site is very famous and very popular with the tourists. Wineglass Bay, the beautiful beach, and the Cradle Mountain as well.
You've got a lot of accreditations?
we keep our standard and getting all the accreditation.
People can find you online as well.
Yeah, we have our website, and also we have brochures in the airport, in the hotel.
Tasmanian Coach Lines provides heaps of tour options and has a huge fleet of coaches for all occasions. John is one of the friendly drivers you're likely to meet.
John, I understand that Tasmanian Coach Lines has a fleet of 60?
Yes, we certainly do. Various different sizes. We do go from commuters to coasters to medium-sized buses, which sort of have 30, 35 people, to the coaches, which we're driving in today, which you can go up to 57.
You can actually take really large groups?
Really large groups, and depends, of course, on what the people's needs are. Wherever you want to go, if it's where you want to go to, well, we can accommodate.
Fantastic. Not just a day trip, but you obviously do overnighters. And
yes, tours for up to 10 days if you want, you know, it all depends what your needs are. We get the golfers that travel all around the state, and bus drivers will take them to different golf courses around Tasmania.
I bet that's a popular one.
That is very popular. You have to share your stories. I like to go down the southern part of Hobart. Port Arthur's another good one I like, just love the history.
Yes, absolutely, and that we do have.
I used to always say how fantastic Tassie was. You know, you have to promote your state and the people who make it great.
Hadley's Orient Hotel is a Hobart institution. So many stories and such amazing history. CEO Ben Targett is quite rightly very proud of this grand old dame.
1834, so just before the Victorian era, and it's been restored reminiscent of that time.
It still feels so romantic. It feels like the kind of place I'd love to come and have a cocktail.
Yeah, well, the atrium's the sort of central part, and decoration's really authentic, very eclectic, which is true of that era, and it's a lot of fun to be in here. Well, we're just going into the Orient Bar. So for us in-house guests and locals mingling here, we've got a huge range of Tasmanian whiskies, gins, try to focus on Tasmanian produce. Nice and cosy.
Yeah, it sure is. It's beautiful.
This site originally was right in the very heart of Hobart when it was first turned into a town and then a city, and the hotel is as centrally located as you could be, really, in terms of the city. We've had 3 years of the Hadley's Art Prize. In fact, it's the world's most lucrative landscape art prize, with a $100,000 first prize. It's an incredible event, so we hold it here every August. We have 2 rooms that we turn over for the exhibition, so we turn them from event spaces where normally you would have meetings into 2 high-quality exhibition spaces. It's a 71-room sort of boutique-style hotel. As a 185-year-old building, many of those rooms are full of character. Obviously, they've all been refurbished true to this Victorian style. If the walls could talk here, there'd be so many stories, and you know, the accommodation reflects that.
I'm heading down the Tasmanian Peninsula this morning, and the drive is so picturesque. So what better way to take the scenic option than in this flash little Mini? Thanks, Anna from Overdrive Car Hire. Woohoo!
Road driven. So Anna, tell me a bit about Overdrive.
So Overdrive rents sports and luxury cars. It's a Tasmanian family business. We're only in Tasmania. Overdrive sits on top of that to provide something different to people that, you know, enjoy driving.
Yeah, and here we are sitting around in this cute little Mini.
Exactly, the Mini's one of my favourites.
What other sort of brands of cars do you have?
So we've got Mustang, Porsche, Jaguar, BMW, a couple of convertibles, nice roadster type cars, little Mazda MX-5, which is really popular sort of for the real driver that loves to get around the west coast. And
yeah, absolutely. What are the more popular journeys?
I have to say the Great Eastern Drive, one of my personal favourites since I was a little child as well.
It's one of my favourites too. Is Overdrive a statewide service?
We are. We're based out of Hobart, but we service Launceston as well. And something else we do, we deliver cars anywhere in the state that they're required. We're the exclusive car rental provider to the Federal Group, which includes Sapphire, Henry Jones, Mach 1. So they're all properties that we regularly bring in cars to meet the guests. Shall we pop it in go-kart mode?
Yeah, let's do it. I felt that. Good talk.
When we talk about award-winning experiences in Tassie, there is one place that has had to build another trophy cabinet to fit them all in. Port Arthur Historic Sites' Jennifer Fitzpatrick has a big job looking after the marketing for Port Arthur and the other convict sites in Tasmania.
11 convict sites throughout Australia called the Australian Convict Sites World Heritage Property.
And how many of those are in Tasmania?
Well, we have 5 in Tasmania and 3 of them are managed by the Port Arthur Historic Site Management Authority. So this is one of them, the Cascades Female Factory,
yes,
as well as Port Arthur Historic Site and the coal mines.
How do we learn about some of those stories?
Well, you can come here to the Cascades Female Factory and we have a dramatised tour called The Proud and the Punished, which was a one-woman performance where she can go into different characters and you learn about some of the women that were here, some of their stories, some of the children that grew up here.
Really? The Port Arthur site is obviously such a popular attraction for visitors and locals alike.
It's an award-winning site. We were very lucky to win the Australian Tourism Award for Major Tourist Attraction.
Amazing.
There's over 30 buildings and ruins to explore, over 100 acres. It's a much larger site and you really need a fair bit of time to explore it. Yeah. We expect people to spend maybe 3 to 4 hours and we offer a guided tour and a harbour cruise included in your ticket, but also you can buy additional tours. The new visitor centre is meant to engage people in the stories of Port Arthur. Everybody is given a card, a character card. It connects to one of the stories. It's not just the convicts now, so you could be a soldier, you could be an actress, you could be a child that was out at Point Poor, and you find what happened to your character down in the gallery. And there we have artefacts that we've dug up in our archaeology on the site. We have certain elements of our collections that previously hadn't been on display.
That's incredible, such history.
And you can still try on the leg irons because the kids still love to do that. We have a new tour that we just opened up this year called the Escape from Port Arthur Tour, which kind of tells the stories everybody's been asking. Did the convicts actually get away? Were they caught? What happened to them when they got caught?
Oh, the juicy bits.
We also have a brand new restaurant, 1830, which has views out over to the penitentiary. It's absolutely spectacular. And our head chef just loves to use the local produce down the Tasman Peninsula. We have lots of options. First-time travellers to Tasmania always include a visit to Port Arthur from all across the globe.
And how far is it from Hobart?
About 90 minutes, short drive from the city centre. And there's so many tour companies that include Port Arthur as part of their itineraries, so it doesn't mean that you have to hire a car yourself if you're not comfortable to do so.
That's great.
The Tasman Peninsula is a stunning part of southern Tasmania's coastline. And if you take to the skies, you can really appreciate just how special the area is. James from Osborne Heli Tours never gets tired about talking it up.
James, when I did my awesome Osborne Heli Tours, it's so much fun. As far as the tours go, we went over Port Arthur, which was a beautiful view, and then seeing all those amazing sea cliffs and the Three Capes track. What a journey that is.
It is incredible and it's one of the most beautiful areas in the world. Everyone should come down and see this area. We can offer an experience unlike no other though. You can go out and you can walk the Three Capes track, you can go out on boats and look up at the cliffs, but we can give that really unique perspective of being up in the air and looking back down at those incredible cliffs.
They are remarkable, aren't they?
Some of the highest sea cliffs in the world.
Yeah, and the beautiful shape
It's incredible.
makes.
It's been carved out over millions of years. There's seal colonies, eagles, beautiful waves, and if you look out to the other side, there's nothing but ocean between you and Antarctica. Our pilots are incredibly knowledgeable, and that's one of the other amazing things that a lot of people don't realise. Once you're actually up there, everyone has a headset on with a microphone and you can all talk to your pilot. They are locals, they live here, they know the area, they fly through here every day. There's nothing they don't know that you can ask them. So we do see the Three Capes. There's the 3 main capes, which is Cape Rowell, Cape Pillar and Cape Hoy. So Cape Hoy is the very iconic one with the candlestick. Cape Rowell is the highest one. And Cape Pillar is the really remarkable one because it has Tasman Island off the end of it. I've lost count of the amount of times people have arrived back here and said the words, "That was the most amazing thing I've ever done in my life."
There is a lot to see and do down at the Tasman, and Port Arthur Villas offer a great base while you get out and explore. And manager Deb says there is something special visitors love to see.
Deb, the gardens here are absolutely gorgeous, so lush.
We get people travelling from all over the world. We have 32 varieties of fuchsias.
Oh, wow.
And the fuchsias then bring the finches.
Yep.
And yeah.
Flora and fauna right here.
Absolutely, yeah.
Really great place if you're touring the Southern Peninsula
Definitely.
Port Arthur, Three Capes track.
Well, we're now picking up pre and post Three Capes. So they come before, chuck everything and sort their packs out before they travel. And then on the way back, they call in, and because of the kitchens and the barbecue facilities, they can have a steak.
Yep.
And feed themselves rather than dehydrated food.
Yeah, absolutely. Deb, how many villas are there?
9 at the moment, and they're all 4-star, fully self-contained down to coffee makers. But in the next month, we are doing our development of another 9 units, and we will be open with them in the late year. Well, the proteas are probably one of the main plants that are sought after. They've been in the garden, I'm told, for 30 years from South Africa. And people come here and just crave to take a sample back home, wherever they're going.
There is a lot about Tasmania that is unique, but these little devils really deserve that honour. This is Unzoo, the creation of John Hamilton back in 1978.
Well, an Unzoo is a place where you're immersed among the plants and animals of Tasmania. Yep. And a zoo is a place where the animals are all behind cages, and we've hardly got any cages left here. Yep. So an Unzoo is really natural, and this is the first one in the world, actually.
So you flipped it.
With all the Tasmanian devils that live in the hills around here, with our conservation effort, we're looking after to make sure the last truly safe, natural, wild population of devils on Earth remains intact.
Speak of the devil.
Both of them, how about that? Look at that. So this is what the visitors see. Come around the corner and we got some of these little creatures.
Oh, here he comes. Oh, food. Yeah.
They knew you were coming.
Yeah.
You see, of course.
They're welcoming.
This is another example of the Unzoo principle. Look, these birds can come and go as they wish. How's that? Are you all around? Where are they? Come on.
Awesome. Oh, look at the colour.
This is the Tasmanian rosella, the green rosella.
Amazing.
Here we are. Usually they land on a head as well, but anyway. This is a really good example of Tasmanian native animals that can read.
Explain.
So they know where to go. Well, they've read the sign, Paddy Milling Corner, and they know this is where they should be, you see. So.
Oh, yes.
So this is our equivalent of hands-on. And these animals actually enjoy and being fed, and they're very safe to do so. You can't find those anywhere else in the world, and that's the key to what our Unzoo is. And they all live here.
Wow, what an adventure that was. Some of the best tourism operators in the country sharing their stories. Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to see you here soon.